Hey everyone, welcome to Tip Daily. In this video, we explore the 10 psychological traits commonly found in people who are afraid of commitment. Commitment issues can often cause confusion and frustration in relationships. By understanding these traits, you'll gain insight into why some people hesitate to commit to long-term relationships and how to address these issues in a healthy way. We will go in depth on each of these traits, explaining them in easy-to-understand language and helping you recognize them in yourself or others. 1. Fear of losing independence. The first trait we'll talk about is the fear of losing independence. For some people, the idea of committing to a long-term relationship feels like they're giving up their personal freedom. These individuals value their autonomy, and they worry that being in a committed relationship will limit their ability to make decisions on their own, pursue their hobbies, or spend time the way they want. This fear often stems from a belief that relationships require total compromise, where they'll have to sacrifice too much of their individuality. People with this trait may avoid deep connections because they fear they'll be tied down or lose their sense of self in the relationship. For example, they may hesitate to make plans too far in advance or keep their living arrangements separate to maintain a sense of control over their personal life. 2. Fear of being hurt. Another big reason people fear commitment is the fear of getting hurt. Emotional pain from past relationships can leave deep scars, making someone reluctant to open up again. If someone has experienced heartbreak, betrayal, or abandonment before, they may put up emotional barriers to protect themselves from going through that pain again. This self-protection mechanism can make them seem distant or uninterested when in reality, they're afraid of being vulnerable. For instance, someone might be overly cautious, refusing to express their feelings or fully invest in the relationship, believing that by doing so, they're preventing future emotional harm. However, these walls often prevent meaningful connections from forming in the first place. 3. Difficulty trusting others. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship. But for some people, trusting others doesn't come easily. Those who fear commitment may struggle with trust issues, often expecting others to betray them, lie to them, or leave them when things get tough. These trust issues can stem from past betrayals, such as infidelity, or dishonesty in previous relationships. When someone has difficulty trusting others, they tend to overanalyze situations, look for hidden motives, or assume the worst. This constant suspicion can prevent them from forming deep, committed relationships, as they're always waiting for the other person to hurt them. Over time, this mindset can cause them to pull away from relationships altogether, thinking it's safer to avoid getting too close. 4. Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem plays a major role in commitment fears. People who don't feel good about themselves often believe they're not worthy of love, happiness, or a long-term relationship. They might think, why would anyone want to be with me for the long haul? Or, if they get to know the real me, they'll leave. This insecurity creates a fear that their partner will eventually lose interest or find someone better. As a result, they may avoid getting serious in relationships because they expect things to end badly. They might downplay their own importance in the relationship, feel anxious about their partner's affections, or even sabotage the relationship to confirm their belief that they're not good enough. 5. Fear of responsibility. Commitment in a relationship often comes with responsibilities, and for some people, this can feel overwhelming. The fear of responsibility in a relationship might include concerns about having to manage someone else's emotional needs, coordinate life decisions, or make sacrifices for the sake of the relationship. These individuals may see commitment as a burden rather than a partnership. They might feel like being in a long-term relationship will require them to be emotionally available at all times, or that they'll have to compromise too much of their own happiness. As a result, they might avoid getting too serious with someone, fearing that the responsibilities of a committed relationship will feel too heavy. 6. Unrealistic expectations. Some people fear commitment because they hold unrealistic expectations about what a relationship should look like. They may have an idealized vision of the perfect partner or the perfect relationship, and if things don't meet their high standards, they'll back away. These expectations often come from media portrayals of love, where relationships seem effortless and flawless. When reality doesn't match up with this fantasy, they might feel dissatisfied and afraid to commit. They're constantly searching for perfection, whether it's in their partner's behavior or in the overall relationship. This makes it difficult for them to settle down, as no relationship can ever meet these unrealistic standards. 7. Fear of vulnerability. One of the most challenging aspects of commitment is the need for vulnerability. In a committed relationship, people have to open up emotionally, sharing their thoughts, fears, and weaknesses. For someone who is afraid of commitment, this can feel terrifying. They may fear that if they show their true self, they'll be judged, rejected, or hurt. As a result, they may avoid getting too close to anyone, preferring to keep their emotions guarded. This fear of vulnerability can lead to a pattern of casual relationships, or avoiding deep connections altogether, because showing too much of themselves feels too risky. 8. Attachment to past relationships. Sometimes, people fear commitment because they're still emotionally attached to a past relationship, whether they're holding on to unresolved feelings, memories, or regrets. This attachment prevents them from moving forward with a new partner. They might compare their current partner to someone from their past, idealizing the old relationship and finding flaws in the new one. This emotional baggage makes it difficult for them to fully commit to a new relationship because they're not truly present. They might still be holding on to the hope of rekindling the old relationship, or struggling to let go of what they had, which keeps them from investing in a new partnership. 9. Fear of change. Commitment often brings about changes in a person's life. Whether it's moving in together, sharing finances, or making long-term plans. For people who fear change, this can be intimidating. Fear of change can prevent someone from committing because they don't want to disrupt their current lifestyle. They may resist anything that feels like it will alter their routine, identity, or comfort zone. For instance, they might fear that getting serious with someone will require them to change their career plans, move to a new city, or even give up certain aspects of their personal life. This fear of the unknown keeps them from embracing commitment. 10. Fear of failure. Lastly, people who fear commitment often worry about failure. They may believe that no relationship lasts forever and that committing to someone will eventually end in heartbreak, divorce, or disappointment. This fear of failure makes them hesitate to invest in long-term relationships because they assume things will go wrong. They might feel anxious about their ability to maintain a relationship, or worry that their partner will fall out of love with them. Instead of risking failure, they choose to stay in casual relationships or avoid serious relationships altogether. For them, the thought of committing and then facing a breakup is too painful to bear. So they avoid taking that risk in the first place. So there you have it, 10 psychological traits that explain why some people are afraid of commitment. If you or someone you know has these traits, don't worry. Understanding them is the first step to overcoming commitment fears. Thanks for watching.